The Ford hero Glenn Seton's closed the gap on series leader Mark Scaife after his team landed a hat-trick at Phillip Island last weekend in the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. The touring cars move to Brisbane's Lakeside Raceway next weekend, and it's another Ford-friendly circuit. Mike Raymonds reviews the week on wheels, starting at Victoria Circuit by the Sea.
Forecasters predicted every known combination for the Phillip Island Shell Series round, and by golly, they were spot on. As rain started to tumble during the warm-up lap, the wise ones headed to the pits for wet rubber. The rest stayed put, gambling it was a passing Shah and that a dry track would prevail. John Bowe got away gingerly with Thomas Mazzera and Jim Richards squabbling about second. From the pit lane, Dick Johnson, Alan Jones, Glenn Seton and Mark Scaife took off in full cry after the leaders. It was fascinating stuff as the 5-leader squadron tackled the tail-enders in close formation. Early off-track excursions were spotted by Peter Brock, Mazzera, and then Scaife, who saved the Winfield Commodore from bogging down and burying itself. Bowe continued to pace the pack till caught and passed by Seton and Crompton, who was really howling in the Coke Commodore. Scaife, though, was the big mover. He disposed of Crompton and then nailed Jones near the finish, while Brocky took Johnson and advanced to fourth. In the final lap, Scaife set out after the Peter Jackson Falcon, reeling in Seton hand over fist, but it was all too late, and Glenn had enough to get to the line to win his first championship event of the season, but making it 2 from 2 might be a little tougher.
Well, the decision's been that it's declared a wet track, but this is where we've got caught out, is that we weren't allowed to go out on a different tyre than what's marked, so we put our marked tyres on.
Seton made no mistakes in this one. He got the power down to open a gap over Crompton and Scaife, while Brocky was back to his vintage best. He found an opening on the inside of Scaife to advance to third, and a couple of laps later employed the same technique to drop Crompton one rung down the ladder. Larry Perkins was an early casualty when his engine let go and he parked in rather an untidy manner. The race had its moments, but Seton was not to be denied his day in the sun. As the laps fell away, Brocky came home quicker than Roscoe McGlashan. The Telecom Commodore was running strong and Perfect Pete was able to turn up the heat. The gap closed in the final tour, but Seton again had sufficient left to win comfortably over Brock and Scaife to give his Ford team a hat-trick on the day.
It was a bit of a touch and go there for a while because I selected a very hard tyre and luckily it took off.
Across at Phoenix Raceway in Arizona, Canadian Paul Tracy led the field in for the start of the IndyCar 200. Nigel Mansell made a big move early to split the Marlboro Penske's of Tracy and Emerson Fittipaldi, while Jacques Villeneuve was the best of the Reynard runners. Regrettably, Villeneuve and Tracy were to exit the pack following this coming together between Teo Fabi and Hiro Matsushita. Tracy clobbered the wall, and a few seconds later, Jacques went wide of the mark, hit Hiro full clip and tore his car in half. Miraculously, nobody was injured. Mario Andretti and son Michael's exit came a few laps later when the Surfers Paradise winner was clipped from behind. His wheel left the Reynard and then the track, crashing into a spectator corporate area, but fortunately not seriously injuring 3 bystanders. Fittipaldi was sensational in traffic as he led teammate Al Unser to the wire, with Nigel Mansell third, but a lap down. Meanwhile, at Shah Alam, the Malaysian 500 GP enjoyed perfect weather, a huge crowd and a great result, particularly if you're an Aussie. John Kaczynski made another of his brilliant starts aboard the Kajiva to lead the field into the first turn. Darryl Beattie's race was virtually over there when he touched a rear wheel and was forced to find his way through the rough and back on the track. Mick Doohan trailed in third behind Kaczynski and Luca Catalora, but there was absolutely nothing between them. He made a couple of moves on the young Italian, but when Honda teammate Ito found an opening up the inside, that spurred Doohan into immediate action. Mick disposed of Ito within a lap and then charged up to Kaczynski, passing him 2 circuits later. Once in front, there was no heading Doohan, who played it safe to win by 6 seconds over the American. Ito took third, Catalora fourth, and Kevin Schwantz sixth.
Our guys haven't stopped working. They haven't been back to the hotel before like 10:30 at night. And I just tried to put in as much effort as they've been putting in. And, you know, I thought John and Luca were going to give me a hard time, which they did. But I thought more throughout the whole race. And I'm just happy to be here. I think it's more luck and good management.
Finally, Bill Elliott thought he had Sunday's Food City 500 locked up at Bristol, Tennessee, till Jeff Burton cannoned off a wall and into his path. The race was littered with wrecks, which accounted for at least 6 of the favourites. But after the dust had settled, Winston Cup whiz Dale Earnhardt forged his way to the checker for his second major of the season. Mike Raymond on Motorsport's week that was for Sportsworld.
A piece of plastic-coated cardboard.
Unfolded as